And Psalms 104:5, he set the earth on its foundations and it can never be moved. Never. So here you see in Isaiah 40:22, he sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and its people are like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy and spreads them out like a tent to live in. We live in a tent. This is the tent. The projection of light. Here you see an ancient picture here. Here you see the ethereal barrier, meaning the firmament, the etheric barrier, and here you see his head popping out. Why is his head popping out? Because your head is heaven, your heel is hell. Your head has access to the astral plane. This is why your head is heaven. The pineal gland, when stimulated, has access to project itself, project consciousness into the astral plane. Here you see another ancient picture here with the Masonic Royal Arch, with the zodiac here, the zodiac on the top, arching, because there's a firmament above us. Here's God in the brain. Consciousness is God. Here you see the Masonic Royal Arch, symbolizing the firmament. George Washington above the Masonic Royal Arch. These are the stars. This is Polaris projecting reality. Here's ancient churches with the dome. Polaris projecting reality with Jesus. Disney World is under the dome. The seven layers of heaven, ancient paintings, all depict if you go and look at the ancient paintings, they'll all depict the firmament, the arch above us. This is where we get interesting. The Masonic Royal Arch has the 6-9, which is Cancer. The constellation Cancer, which is 6-9 is associated with portals, because CERN is the 6-9. Okay, CERN is opening portals. They're trying to create a portal to the other side. Cancer has the word CERN within it, so there is a link between Cancer and the opening, the firmament opening above us, to ascension. Here you see the Masonic art with the Royal Arch and the light and the opening. Here you see the light and the opening. This is the opening of the firmament. Here's the Hebrew cosmology with Sheol, the underworld, and the opening. So Cancer is definitely some sort of portal in and out of this reality. I'm just connecting dots here. Now, we're going to go change a bit now. These celebrities that you are seeing they have not sold their soul to Satan, okay? They have not sold their soul to Satan. Satan is a demonic, low vibrational energy that has been summoned over the thousands and thousands and thousands of years of evil occult arts. So since Babylon was summoning this demonic energy, and this demonic energy in the astral plane will grow and grow and grow. It has no form. It has no physical form. Okay? But you can see it in the rappers. If your third eye is open, you can see clearly that these people are demonic. You can sense the energy that they're manifesting. Selling your soul is not what you've been told. It is gaining, because your soul is pure love, okay? Your soul does not want to do anything bad. So when you sell your soul, you're gaining physical gain. You're gaining physical wealth, for example. Like for these rappers, they will be given millions of pounds because the people in control of the music industry, which is the dark occultists trying to brainwash the masses, the people in charge, they're dark occultists. They understand Satan and the energy. They are satanic energy, which has been summoned in the astral plane. They see that they have influence over the masses, so they will go to them and say, "I will give you this amount of money forever if you manifest this satanic, demonic energy through the music and through social media to blind the masses, to brainwash the masses into this demonic energy. Because when you listen to music, music is frequency. Whatever you listen to, you become that frequency. So if you're listening to these people, they're throwing energy, this demonic, satanic energy that they sold out to. Soul, same word. When you sold something, you've got your soul involved. They have exchanged money, physical gain, so that they manifest this satanic energy within the astral plane and through the music, through the videos, through social media, to keep us in this vibrational frequency, in this low state of consciousness. This is what it actually is. It's not, you're not selling your soul to some sort of devil. This satanic energy has no physical form in it is formless in the astral plane. It's a summoned energy. Now, the root chakra is red. This is why the devil is red, because it symbolizes the animal nature of man. When you are operating off your root chakra, you will kill, you will fight, you will do anything to survive, because it's all about survival mode in the root chakra. They want you keeping in that fighting mode, that surviving mode, so that you are manifesting this low vibrational frequency, this satanic energy, this demonic red energy. This is why the devil is red. And the devil has a tail with the red arrow pointing down, because it symbolizes your light body. This is your Merkaba. Your Merkaba is your light body. Mer equals light, Ka equals spirit, Ba equals body. Merkaba, this is the devil's tail pointing down, the descension, your heel, up to your heel, hell. Ascension to heaven, head. You see? This is the all-seeing eye with the illumination coming off it. Your head, when you're illuminated. The Merkaba is your celestial sphere to portray different planes of reality. It is the vehicle of ascension. It's your light body. It's in the word Kabbalah. Kabbalah. Ka, spirit. Ba, body. La, light. Same thing. Kabbalah. Merkaba. Same thing. It's all about the light body. This light body sees different realities. So when you see the goat in the music industry, it's this satanic summoned energy that's been summoning for thousands of years within the astral plane. When it becomes to the physical plane, it will manifest through different things. A goat, an owl, Satan, Moloch, Baal, same deity, same demonic energy that's been summoning in the astral plane. And this is why the Baphomet has a goat head. Drake's new album is the goat. The Polo G, the Masonic G, with the goat. And here's Rylo Rodriguez in the mirror, with the goat in the mirror and him in his physical body. It symbolizes, the mirror symbolizes the astral plane, because he's manifesting the goat, the demonic energy. He's sold out to the demonic energy, and in the physical plane, he's his physical body. The mirroring, the Masonic 11, the mirroring of reality, the astral and the physical. And what do you call them when they're an amazing rapper, the best rapper? You call them the goat, because the goat, you're the goat because you're manifesting the goat energy, this satanic, demonic energy within the astral plane. So Baal, Moloch, all the same thing. Because in the astral plane, if you want to gain spirits to come to you and communicate you, in the physical world, if you want to communicate with spirits, you have to gain their attention. You can either gain their attention or come together and agree to create some sort of being, which is Satan. Okay? You can, like I said earlier, you can create these beings, you can summon them or attract them. One way to attract them is sacrificing. In order for you to become God, man, to turn to God, You have to sacrifice your life. You have to sacrifice, not drinking, not doing things, not doing anything demonic, not doing anything bad, not eating meat. You have to sacrifice yourself to become the light. However, if you want quick, instant gains in the physical world, you can sacrifice something else to communicate with these spirits, because these demonic energies feed off demonic energy, your demonic energy. So these dark occultists will give away babies, they'll sacrifice, torture babies so that they gain, so that they can communicate with these spirits for physical exchange. Yes, you can do this. These powerful spirits, these powerful demons can give you powers. They can give you certain things. And this is what they are doing. They're summoning and attracting these demonic energy. This is why, trafficking is one of the most, Balenciaga. Baal is the demonic energy in the astral plane, which requires child sacrifice for his presence. Balenciaga, and they were trafficking children. They were trafficking, killing them, and offering them to the spirits. This is what they are doing. Balenciaga. It's in the name. Here you see, you can see here a stick man with two horns. The goat, obviously, it's all the same deity. Baal, the goat. Moloch, is Moloch the owl, the Egyptian owl, because it comes from the owl of Moloch, which is Baal, which is Satan, all the same demonic energy. And it's on the dollar bill, a tiny dollar bill, tiny on the $1 bill. All the same thing. Bohemian Grove, they worship the big owl, Moloch. It's all the same thing. It's all one big demonic energy which has been summoning in the astral plane. And it's trying to take over Earth, the physical plane. That's what it's doing. So I hope you all gained a deeper understanding of the astral plane and what's actually going on in the world. Please leave a comment if you can to help the algorithm. Drop a like if you like this content. And hope you all learned something today. And God bless you all. Thank you all.
Goal is to be famous, then you're gonna do a lot to get there, like sign your name in blood in a contract with the devil.
That's how I got introduced to the music industry. I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music, but it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil. Well, needless to say, sold my soul.
Hey y'all, I'm finna sell my soul. I'ma hit y'all when I'm through. I'm gonna be rich as hell, alright? My soul is broke, man. You trying to sell your soul, man. Look.
So what exactly is selling your soul? In order to understand this to its full potential, you have to understand the spirit world and the occult world which our eyes cannot visibly see. The physical world we see is nothing but an illusion and a product of the higher planes of existence. For example, you can see someone's physical body, but you can't see the complex structure of the consciousness and the thinking behind that being. With that being said, there are forces and entities not attached to physical bodies, which they exist on the astral and etheric plane behind the physical plane. Now there are numerous videos and music with artists talking about this. For example,
I sold my soul to the devil and the price was cheap. Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my hand.
What was your bargain?
To get where I I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in a world we can't see. And then in a world we can't see.
So selling your soul is cutting a deal with an astral plane entity in exchange for wealth and fame on this physical plane. This is classed as black magic because you are bending reality against your intuition. Now, making deals with entities beyond the physical plane, you always have to give something in exchange. When it comes with demonic entities, it always involves some sort of sacrifice, bloodshed, or humiliation. Now, there are countless of rappers who someone close to them have died just before their career takes off to the next level.
My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah, I'm Christian.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing.
So these rappers and celebrities do have to do sacrifice rituals in order to take their career to the next level.
Top flight, I've been going up. It's a ritual.
So the occult side of this reality is heavily connected with the music industry and the elites. This is why they are all connected to Freemasonry. Now, this is why the music industry is one of the most important industries for the elites to stay in control and keeping the masses on low states of consciousness. Frequency is one of the most powerful things in reality because it's the only thing which can enter your soul and body without consent. The frequency on Spotify and all major platforms are all tuned to 440 Hz, which was set by the Rockefellers. 440 Hz turns off the whole right side of your brain, and the right side of your brain is to do with critical thinking, imagination, and your intuition. Music has the ability to influence your intent, your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions just by frequency itself. By controlling the music the celebrities put out and the things they talk about, they're actually molding society because of the celebrities' huge amount of influence over the younger generation and cultures within society. This is why the music industry is mainly talking about sex, guns, violence, and hating other people. These are all very low vibrational acts and things to do which destroys humanity and societies, keeping us all conquered and divided in order for them to stay in power. Music can actually reprogram your subconscious mind, and it is a form of MK Ultra, which is mind control.
It's in my brain. Do you know that? It's living rent free. I can't get it out. You did that.
Yeah, it's hypnosis. Yeah, it's hypnosis.
You're so awesome and dope.
You do need to be very careful with what you're listening to and what frequency it's playing at, because all of this has an effect on your electromagnetic field and your state of consciousness. Now let's go back to selling your soul. When these rappers and celebrities sell their soul, they now gain eternal life on this physical plane.
When you do sell your soul, you are allowed to live forever. And these people that are called youngins, rookies, new booties, like I was, had no idea that these people still live. They will prey, haunt, kidnap, anything to stay on top. This is their world. They have nothing but time, is what they believe.
Now this explains why there's so much Saturn worship, because Saturn is the father time. He's the god of time and crystallization in the physical realm. If you want more information on that, go to my previous video. Now here is ASAP Rocky standing inside of a pentagram, but notice the way he's standing, it's an inverted pentagram. The pentagram is associated with magic, however, the upright pentagram is the 5 elements with spirit on the top. It's either called spirit or ether. It's at the top because it rules the other 4 elements, because it's the baseline of reality, which is spirit and matter. Spirit is behind the physical reality. However, when it comes to black magic, they invert the pentagram, so spirit is at the bottom because they worship the physical world. This is why the Baphomet is the inverted pentagram. These people are operating off their animal instincts. They do not want anything to do with spirit. These are antichrist. All of these celebrities know full well the effect what they're doing on the rest of the world. They have sold themselves out, and the elites use them as puppets to push this new world order and mold society in the way they want it. This is why all the celebrities are linked to Freemasonry, because in Freemasonry you have to take the oath of silence, where you can't speak on anything that they learn inside of Freemasonry. This is the symbol of silence. The elites need them under this oath, so they do not talk about certain topics and certain things to the public because of the amount of influence they have on society. Now, even the name Hollywood is an occult term, because back in the ancient days when they used to create wands, they used to create them out of Hollywood, out of the holly tree, because each wood has certain attributes and virtues when it comes to magic. And the holly tree was known as the holy wood, and they used to create the wands out of it to cast spells. And Hollywood are still casting magic to this day through the films and through the music to the masses. That's it for this video, people. Hope you enjoyed. Please like and comment and subscribe. Peace and much love. Matthew 21:1, Jesus went into the temple of God. Corinthians 3:16, do you not know that you are the temple of God? Now what is this telling you? That God is within you. Hence why in Luke 21:12 it tells you the kingdom of God is within you. And the side of your head region is called a temple for a reason. Because the brain encapsulates the mind. The brain is a physical manifestation of the mind. The heart is a physical manifestation of emotion. So we have these different layers of our consciousness. We have an intellectual, communicative aspect of our consciousness, which we would call the mind. We have an emotional aspect of our consciousness, which is the heart. And to communicate with the divine, it's all to do with the mind. Hence why the ancients always symbolize the mind being God. This is why Michelangelo always placed God inside of the brain on top of Sistine Chapel in the middle of the Vatican. He understood that God is in the brain. God is within you, not outside of you. The church tells you that God is in the sky because they are creating a externalization of the truth to create a business and a distraction, so that you don't find the divinity within you, so that you don't find your power. Now you have Adam, the physical man, the physical body, the ego, the lower self, and he is resting. He's not trying to reach to God, but God is reaching, because the higher consciousness within you is always trying to communicate with you. It's always trying to wake you up to your divinity. But the lower mind, the lower self, Adam, the physical self, is always in ignorance of truth, always in ignorance, and stays in a materialistic way of thinking, which is the lower animal self. And this is what we call a sleep, or an NPC. This is the lower mind of man. But all you have to do is to move your finger to touch God. You have to look within yourself, within the brain, meditate, and you can find God. This is why in the Bible we see many references to the human body and anatomy to truly connect with God. Kings 6:8, the door to the middle chamber was in the right side of the house, which is the right hemisphere of the brain. The middle chamber is the pineal gland, where the seat of your consciousness is, or the seat of your higher consciousness is, the mind. And they went up the winding stairs, which is your spinal column, into the middle chamber, and out of the middle chamber into the third. So they went up the winding stairs. This represents raising your consciousness up the winding stairs. Your spinal column acts as a stairway of consciousness. Depending on what sort of consciousness you are operating in, depends on what part of the spinal column you are using. Because the spinal column ascends and descends consciousness. What do I mean? If you are in a reproductive way of thinking, and you're always thinking about sex, you're jerking off all the time, and you're always eating, all of your brain's power and your mind's power is being descended into the lower aspects of the spinal column, which represents hell, the physical state of man, Adam, the ignorant state. We're basically living off low-level pleasures like an animal. And the stairway to heaven is your spinal column. They went up the winding stairs into the middle chamber, which is your mind, your pineal gland, and out of the middle into the third stage of consciousness, physical, etheric, astral. When you meditate and you start to raise your consciousness during meditation, you enter the astral plane when you turn off thought. But this is the middle chamber inside of the brain. Here we see another painting inside of Sistine's chapel of God inside of the brain. This is the brainstem. This is the brain. This is the frontal lobe. This is the back lobe. This is the back lobe. This is the cerebellum. Here's the reptilian brainstem. Here's the claustrum. This is what we are seeing here. Anatomy. Here is another one in Sistine's chapel in the middle of the Vatican. This is depicting the brainstem. God's neck looks exactly like the brainstem. Here we see a real brain compared to God's neck, because the neck is just below the brainstem. And this is what they are symbolizing, because they knew that God is within you. God is a part of the human body. God is inside of the body, because the body is a vessel for consciousness, for universal consciousness. Inside of you, inside of me, is the same spark of consciousness. And this same consciousness is spread out into every living essence, because everything comes from the one source, the one God, the one consciousness. Matthew 6:22-23. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Practicing the single eye. What is this? This is meditation. This is entering within yourself. So the Bible's telling you to practice the single eye. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. What does this mean? If your consciousness is in an evil way of thinking, if your mind is filled with an evil, negative mind space, then your body shall be filled with darkness, with evil, with negativity. Because negative thoughts destruct the body. Positive thoughts heal and regenerate the body. So he tells you to The light of the body is the eye, your consciousness, the inner eye of consciousness, the eye that lets you see. And what do I mean? You look with your two physical eyes, but you see with the inner eye. What you see is perception. You look with the two eyes, and what you see is perception. You are seeing, you are understanding, and that's what consciousness, the mind, gives you. Consciousness, or the mind, is the force that allows you to be a human being, that allows you to understand things and interact with things and make decisions. It's an infinite intelligence. See, the mind is not the brain. This is a big confusion with people. Hence why the eye on top of the pyramid is separate from the bottom half of the pyramid, because the consciousness is separate from the body, the eye, the all-seeing eye. It represents the observer, the eye that sees into this body, into this world, into this. You are the perceiver. You are the invisible spirit within the body. Theologians 4:17. After that, we are still alive, and our left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. You don't meet the Lord in the physical air. Okay? This symbolism of the ancient Christian artwork is showing you this is symbolic. These things never happened. There's no man in the sky. Moses didn't go on a mountain to meet with God. The air represents the mind. This is why you say you're an airhead when someone's very stupid. Earth is your body. Water is your emotions. Fire is your spirit. Air is your mind. The invisible mind. So Anton Mengs, an ancient Christian art worker, is showing you anatomy of God in the clouds. But this is the anatomy of the human body. Raising yourself to the mind and turning the mind inwards on itself during meditation. And that's how you meet the Lord in the air. You meet the Lord in an elevated state of consciousness. The air represents an elevated state of consciousness because the air is up. You have to raise your consciousness to meet the Lord in the air. This is why Moses went on a mountain to meet with God. The mountain represents elevation. Elevation of consciousness, raising the mind up the spinal column, taking all of the mind's attention away from the reproduction and the physical aspects of self and raising it to the brain and turning off the brain and going inward into the air. It's talking about raising consciousness. It's allegorical, it's a spiritual metaphorical text. The side of your head's called a temple because inside that where that temple is, right in the middle of where you call the temple, is the inner chamber, the open room, the holies of holies in the Bible, or the land flowing with milk and honey, or Mount Zion. There's so many different names for the brain, or the upper room where Jesus meets his 12 disciples, the 12 cranial nerves in your brain. This is the temple of God. Your body is a temple of consciousness. It encapsulates consciousness. It encapsulates the mind and soul. John 10:30. Jesus states, I and the Father are one. Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. He's talking about the I am within you, not within Jesus. Everyone refers to ourselves as I. I am God. I, when you say I, you're referring to the highest aspect of yourself. The aspect that is above all thought, above all emotion, and above all things. I, when you say I, you're referring to your pure awareness, your pure consciousness, the highest aspect of yourself. And anything after I is egotistical. I is God. The letter I is the Roman numerals for one, because there is one God, one consciousness. The letter I is one line, just like the number 1. Matthew 6:3-4. Take no thought. Therefore take no thought. Take no thought. He says this 5 times because you must turn off the 5 senses and take no thought to connect with God. Be still. This is telling you to meditate and know that I am God. The I am within you. I and the Father are one. I and God are one. You, who you think you are, is a completely wrong. The body is matter. Your name isn't you. Your job isn't you. Your reputation, your trauma, your memories, your friends, family, worries, bills, interests, dislikes, goals, passions. Anything to do with the thinking mind is not you. Who you think you are is a part of your thinking aspect of consciousness. But once you remove thought, you are no longer your name, you are no longer your body, you are no longer your reputation. You are the I. You are pure awareness, pure consciousness. Pure consciousness. And this pure consciousness has latched on to this name, this job, the body, and your traumas. Your pure consciousness has attached itself to this character who you're playing in the physical world. And this is essentially who you think you are. But you are not. You are the I. You are the self. You are pure awareness. So, in order for you to detach from these things, you must learn how to detach from your name, your job, your reputation. And you do this through meditation, by turning off the thinking mind. Turning off the thinking mind allows other aspects of your consciousness to open up. What do I mean? Your whole life you've been thinking, and all of these thoughts has attached you to this physical body. You haven't allowed your consciousness to open up. And you can only do this by taking no thought. That's why Jesus tells you, take no thought. When you turn off the thinking mind, other aspects of your consciousness starts to open up. Other aspects of your being can open up. And this is how you astral project. This is how you do all these mystical things and things to do with consciousness. It's taking no thought. Imagination, emotions, thought, and memory are all to do with consciousness. These things are not physical. You can't touch thought. You can't touch emotions. You can't touch these things because they are not a physical thing. So you must turn off these things for other aspects of your consciousness to open up. Okay? So essentially the Bible is a metaphorical, astrological, numerological, metaphysical, spiritual, encoded text that talks about human anatomy, spirituality, and the true nature of the human experience. Everything they teach you in school is to make you think that you are this body. Everything they teach you in church is the externalization of the true teachings of Jesus. Jesus was telling you to meditate. Jesus was telling you to practice the single eye. Jesus was telling you to look within yourself and find God. He wasn't telling you to pray to him. Mark 16:19, he was taken up to heaven and sat at the right hand of God, the right hemisphere of your brain. John 21:6, cast the net onto the right hand side of the boat and ye shall find fish. Fish is understanding. The boat is your body, your brain. Cast your awareness into the right side of your brain and you will find understanding, because the right side of your brain is all to do with the creative aspect and the intuition and the spiritual sides of your consciousness. This is why God is here. This is why Michelangelo depicted God in the right hemisphere of your brain, because this is all human anatomy. And I speak about all of this in the brand new Book of Wisdom, Volume 2. Which is now available. The start of the revolution has begun. This book is truly going to change the way people see the world. It's got so many more topics than the last one. It's truly a revolution. It's written in so much detail. It's very practical. I cannot wait to share this one with you. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity for me to create this book. Because without you, I couldn't have created this. And I just love sharing my work with you. And I thank every single one of you for the support, the watch, like the views and the likes, everything. Especially the people who have joined the university and stuff like that. And for people who have joined the university, you do get a free Book of Wisdom paperback if you just go to the general chat and follow the description, follow what the instructions that I gave you in the chat, and you'll be able to order a free Book of Wisdom if you are inside of the university. Plus, you get all of my other books, 2 books, and over 45 occult books on occult and esoteric things. You get lectures, live calls, a community, a manifestation mastery course, and a whole library and reoccurring updates every month, every week. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you all. Please leave a comment to help the algorithm, and leave a comment on what videos I should make. And yeah, I'll get to uploading on the YouTube a lot more now the second book is now released. I have a lot more time on my hands. No longer using my energy to create the book. I'm now going to redirect this mental energy into the YouTube. So there will be a lot more content coming. So I need some content ideas. So feel free to comment some ideas, some YouTube videos that I can create. Thank you all, people. Have an amazing day.
Welcome to Revival of Wisdom.
Welcome people, we're back with another video. In this video we're talking about how Jesus Christ and Christianity is all sun worship. The Holy Bible of Christianity is not meant to be taken literal for history. It is a story and has lots of metaphors. Starting with the symbol of the cross of Jesus. This cross originates from this ancient cross of the sun. This symbol has been used for thousands of years, way before Jesus was a thing, in Europe, America, Asia, and all around the world. In fact, this symbol is still being used by Christians today, not knowing it represents the sun. This is a 4,500-year-old artifact, a golden plate with an equal-armed cross found in England. The gold to symbolize the sun, and the equal-armed cross for the 4 equal seasons of the year. So this is why in the Bible you have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, symbolizing the yearly cycle of the sun and the 4 equal seasons. Also in the Bible, Jesus is referred to as the light of the world. So yes, Jesus represents the sun. He is a metaphor for the sun. Hence why in all of these pictures and images and paintings of Jesus, there's always a sun behind his head, and some even with the sun cross behind his head. Jesus also has 12 disciples, which represent the 12 zodiac signs and the 12 months of the year. This is the Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. As you can see, the sun, being Jesus, is in the center, because the sun is in the center of the zodiac signs. There are 4 groups which symbolize the 4 equal seasons. Each group contains 3 people symbolizing the 3 months and the 3 zodiac signs in that season. There is only 1 female in the painting, which is Virgin Mary, who symbolizes Virgo, the astrological sign. So yes, Jesus symbolizes the sun with his 12 zodiac signs and 4 gospels for the 4 seasons of the year. However, there is another phenomenon. The 25th of December is known as the birth of Jesus Christ, which is known as Christmas today. Jesus symbolizing the sun and is born on December 25th. This is the day the sun moves 1 degree northward, bringing back the warmth, the growth of crops, the life and light back to the northern hemisphere. Everything is springing back to life, as we call it, spring. So it is said that the sun is born again on the 25th of December. And Jesus is known as the risen Saviour, because the sun is our risen Saviour, because it gives life to the whole of this realm, the warmth, the crops. And without the sun rising in the morning, we'd all die in about 2 weeks. And we all know how Jesus died on a cross. The sun also dies on a cross in the southern hemisphere. It dies on the Southern Crux constellation. And on December the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, the sun remains in the same position. So the sun dies for 3 days and it is born again on December 25th, when it moves 1 degree northward. And this is when the sun is born again, or resurrected, just like Jesus. Constellation Virgo is prominent in the spring sky in the northern hemisphere. So therefore, the sun is born a virgin, Virgo. And as you see in this image, you see Virgin Mary holding the sun. Us as humans do not own the sun, so therefore God owns the sun. So yes, the sun is the Son of God, and this is what Jesus is symbolizing. And just how Jesus sacrifices himself for humanity, that's what the sun does. The sun gives out all of its energy so we can live. There are many other Bible verses which represent Jesus as the sun. Now in Matthew 8:23-27, his disciples are in a boat and there is a massive storm. Jesus is asleep, meaning the sun has not arose. And the disciples say, "Save us, Lord, we are perishing." Quote, "Then he rose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm." End quote. Now this is a metaphor for the sun rising and calming the storm, because in the ocean, when the sun is down, that's when there are great storms. The worship of celestial bodies go back thousands of years, and it's called astrotheology, and it can pretty much be traced back to all ancient civilizations. Now going back to the ancient Egyptians, the god Horus, the god of war, and he symbolized the sun in the morning. Ancients used to say that he walked over the sky in 12 steps. Yes, this could symbolize the 12 zodiac signs. It also symbolizes the 12 hours of daylight. So we have 12 hours of Horus, but now they've rearranged the word to hours. Horus and hours. And when the sun rises, Horus rises, we say horizon, which is Horus is rising. That's the etymology of horizon. Another Egyptian god called Amun-Ra was known as the god of all creation. He was the first god of them all. Amun was also a sun god. Therefore, after every Christian's prayer, they say Amen, sending their prayer through the sun to God. So this all goes back to the worshipping of the sun. Sun worship was around way before the Romans. However, in the Roman times, their sun god was called Mithra. Mithraism.
And this is what it is. We are a well, we're not a corporation, but we represent a corporation, which is your name in full capital letters. That is your corporation. You cannot physically tax a body, but you can tax a corporation. This is why we get charged. This is why we get taxed, because it all goes down to the corporation which our name represents, which we are subjecting ourselves to. We are subject, my name, I am subjecting myself to this name, and that name has a corporation which I represent, which I subject myself to. You see, this is how we are attached to this straw man, this character that they have built on paper. So it's a character which is on paper. This is what we represent. So when the woman gives birth, she delivers the baby, and then she has another substance. Now I'm going to break down how they attach this name to us, how they do it. Okay, our mother is carrying us the product in the womb, the water, and it goes, for example, it goes from the United Kingdom into a state-owned, corporate, federal-owned hospital, which is government-owned. She does not declare the package when she enters the building. Aha, so keep that in mind. When she delivers the package in the federal territory, she does not declare the package either when she leaves. Therefore, there is no evidence that we exist when we arrive. On paper. On paper, there is no evidence that we came into the building or left the building. We have not been declared. So we do not exist on paper at this point. When the woman gives birth, she delivers the baby, and then she has another substance, which is called the afterbirth material. Okay? This afterbirth material has the same DNA as our physical body, with the body, mind, and spirit. Okay? This is how they get this corporation. Hold on. The afterbirth material does not get claimed by the mother nor anyone. Therefore, they salvage that substance because we are under the Vatican. Every state is all Catholic. Your birth certificate is Catholic. No matter what religion you think you are, every single birth certificate is Catholic because we are subjected to Rome. All roads lead to Rome. Rome runs all of this. Okay? We're still under the Roman Empire. Okay, so Rome are Catholic and they believe in salvation. This is how religion comes into this. This is how they use religion to get this. So they salvage the afterbirth material and they claim it and they salvage it and give it and charge it to Rome. And they give it a name. Here's the legal term, born alive. Here's what it says. Each product of such birth is considered live born and fully recognized as a human person. So each product of such birth, so that could be anything, the afterbirth, the person who actually comes out, the baby. So your afterbirth, which we do not take with us, we take the baby with us, they keep that in the hospital, they collect the afterbirth, and they salvage it, and they give it the name, which, it is us. We are a representative to that afterbirth material, which they put the name on, they claimed, which is subject to Rome. So we are walking around our whole lives as a representative to that claimed salvaged afterbirth material, which the federal state have. Okay? We are under the Catholic Church, Vatican, therefore the afterbirth material is a child of God. See? On paper, therefore they believe in salvation and salvage the afterbirth material. This material has no mother or father. The state pick it up, it becomes a war to the courts and gets charged. Unum Sanctum was in 1302, a very, very important year. Very important year. Unum Sanctum says this is basically how they claim everyone in the world. So the Vatican had all this power, all this gold, all these people under them. They need to get a claim for them so then they can rule over them and make them slaves. So what they did, they created Unum Sanctum. Pope Boniface VIII did this. And it says, the spiritual man judges of all things and he himself is judged by no man. The spiritual man, keep that in mind, unless he invent like Manichaeus, two beginnings which is false and judged by heretical, since according to the testimony of Moses, it is not in the beginnings, but in the beginning that God created heaven and earth. Furthermore, we declare, we proclaim, we define that it is absolutely necessary for salvation that every human creature to be subjected to the Roman pontiff. So they are claiming us in Unum Sanctum. and it's in the vaults in the Vatican. They will put a spell on it because they are sorcerers, they are magicians. They put a spell on it, they lock it up, and whatever goes on that piece of paper goes. And this Unum Sanctum is claiming all of us. So what does it say in the beginning? The spiritual man judges of all things, and he himself is judged by no man. The spiritual man, the man with the body, mind, and soul, the first baby that comes out the birth canal. That's you, your body, you, body, mind, and soul. You have the Christ, which is I am, which is grace. Grace means here now, in the present. You have the Christ, which means I am. Therefore, you have a soul. If you can say I am, you have the Christ. You have a soul. But a creature can be judged the man with the soul. However, as it says in the second part, we proclaim, we define that it's absolutely necessary for salvation that every human creature to be subject to the Roman pontiff. So they are subjecting the afterbirth, not the man with the body, mind, and soul, but the afterbirth to the Roman pontiff, to the Roman Catholic Church. We are the ones who are claiming to be the afterbirth material, which is our birth certificate, which is our representative. We represent that because it is our DNA. This is how we are stuck. We are stuck because we represent this DNA, which is on paper, recorded. You see? So we, being untaught, uneducated in these subjects, we are subjecting ourselves to this system, to this slavery, because we just want to live. We just want to live happily, just peaceful. Think about it. Where's all this coming from? Where's all this war, all this killing, deaths coming from? We just want to live. It's coming from the Catholic Church, these evil death cult, which has subjected us, which has used us as slaves, and we are still slaves, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So this is how we have subjected ourselves to be the slaves to this system. It's a lot to take in, and there's a lot more deeper stuff which goes into this. I'm just going over the surface. I'm going quite deep, but there is little details that I still need to learn myself. But this is the general how that we've been stuck to this slave system. So we are batteries, okay? This is why we get charged. When you go in a court, you get charged, okay? Because you're a biological battery. This is why cities look like motherboards, because we are feeding energy to this matrix. Okay, when we look outside of ourselves, when we give power to so-called Jesus Christ, worshipping idols outside of ourselves, where attention goes, energy flows. We are feeding the matrix with energy. By looking within, placing your attention within yourself, you are taking back your power. Because the I am is Christ. The you, the soul, is Christ. It's God. The awareness is God. Okay? However, we are subjecting ourselves to this system. We're subjecting ourselves to this system, and the feeding of our energy. So what we need to look for the future is that, think about it, with the end goal is to change our DNA, is to literally make us robots, transhumanism, slaves. This is why we have smart cars, smartphones, smart watches, smart meters, smart cities. And all of this is going to be connected by the smart grid, which is 5G. This is why 5G is rolling out. 5G is going to connect all of these technologies to one. It's like a big net system. And you know why they're doing this? It's because all of this is going to be connected through AI, through this 5G, and that 5G is going to be controlled by the elites. So you say anything wrong, you do something wrong, you say the wrong thing online, they'll turn off your car, they'll turn off your phone, they'll turn off your smartwatch, they'll turn off your TV, because it's all going to be connected and controlled by the smart grid. And this is what the Great Reset is, people. But they're going to trap us inside of these 15-minute smart cities, so we can't leave the area, because they're going to use climate change as a tool to enslave us, to not travel because of so-called climate change and the fumes that we are putting into the air, which is all BS. They're doing this to push these new cities, to push all of it. But listen, they're trying to get inside of your body. The only way they can do that is to get you addicted and using this technology. First, they got on the body with the smartphone. Well, first of all, we use the technology. We get used to it with it in our hand. The next step for them was to get on the body, which is the Apple Watch, as you see down here. They have now successfully got onto the body. The next thing is to get inside of the body. This is the brain chip. You see how they've slowly lured their way in, slowly got you addicted to this technology, got you dependent on this technology. And what they're going to do is that they're going to mold society to be dependent on the brain chip. So in order, for example, if you want to go and pay for food, you're going to have to get a chip to pay for the food, because it's all going to be digital money. And that digital money will be connected to the chip, and you will need the chip to pay for things. You see? So this is how they're slowly transhumanizing us. These phones, these apps, these things which are all we are all using was created by Freemasons. Mason means traveler, because they travel the depths of the mind. They understand human consciousness. They understand the brain. They understand the mind. By the deepest root cause, they understand it. This is what Masonry is. It's the occult. So these technologies is designed by these people. This is why they're so addictive, because they understand how it works. They understand how to get people addicted, because they understand human consciousness, the brain, the body, and the mind. So this is the advantage Freemasons have over us. And these secret societies, which have gone through the orders of Freemasonry and progressed onto these secret societies, which are the evil side, because I'm not saying Freemasonry is evil, okay? But the societies which they go beyond Freemasonry, because you can go beyond the 33rd degree into these secret societies, and they use this knowledge for the bad, to enslave people. And this is what's going to happen. Transhumanism. So I hope you all learned some insight for today. Please do a bit more research on, the birth certificate and stuff like that, the straw man. And have an amazing day, people. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.
Wisdom.
What is good, people? Is Revival of Wisdom. We're back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of Saturn and the occult. Let's jump straight into this. So Saturn is the god of the earth, right? It's the time of God, change, destruction, physical matter. He creates and destroys, because the energy of Saturn is the key to crystallization. It wraps things in physical matter, right? He creates everything, all life forms, and he takes things back, because the day that you're born, that's the day that your expiry date is coming. The time is ticking until Saturn takes your life. This is why he's known as the Reaper. Okay? As he's personified as eating his child here in this ancient Roman painting. As you can see, he's eating the child. We are all children of Saturn, right? He creates physical matter, our physical bodies, right? He's the god of time because he's the slowest moving celestial body. He's the Lord of the Rings, as you can see here. He's the last one on the ring. He's the slowest one moving, okay? So, he is the Lord of time, destruction and creation, okay? This is why his name is Saturn, Satan. He's the devil, okay? But I'm not saying Saturn's evil, guys. It's a part of life. Everything lives and dies, right? He's the key to crystallization. Now, as we have the clock here, our god Saturn, or Chronos in Greek, just means time. He's also the god of time, as I've already said. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day. Add 2 plus 4 equals 6. 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 2 plus 4 equals 6. That's 666. Okay? And as you see on the clock, 6 take away 12 equals 6. 7 take away 1 equals 6. 9 take away 3 equals 6. 6 is the number of Saturn. It's associated with Saturn, right? He's the god of time, of justice. Everything goes back to the Reaper in the end. Everything lives and dies. Now, the artwork of him, he's always got the Reaper staff. You see, it's personifying death. Now, when you see this, the Romans were not saying Saturn was a real person, a real god in human form. No, this is personification. This is what the ancients always did. They personified, just like the Bible. It's all personification. So the personifying Saturn eating its children because it eats, it's the Reaper. No one can escape the Reaper. No one can escape death. Now, Saturn is 666, which is in the Bible, the number of the beast, right? The number of the beast, Satan, 666, right? So on the North Pole of Saturn, you have a hexagon which makes a cube, right? Now this hexagon, when you join up all the corners, creates the 6-pointed star known as the Star of David, right? In the Jewish religion. Now, as you can see, the 6-pointed star has 6 points, 6 mini triangles, and a 6-sided hexagon. That makes 666. And also, your Saturday is named after Saturn, the 6th planet, the 6th day of the week, and has a 6-sided polygon on its north pole. That's also 666. Now, this Star of David, this symbol goes back thousands of years, and it originates from Saturn. It's not the Star of David, right? It originates from Saturn. It symbolizes the physical and spiritual aspect combined into one, which makes us humans, right? Also symbolizes the male and female combined into one. These two sacred energies create the human. We consist of both male and female energy, also known as the Seal of Solomon. And we all know if Solomon was a real person, he talks about communicating with 72 demons. He could apparently, in the text, he could communicate with 72 demons, and this is sorcery. This is black magic. Now, this symbol is associated with hexing people. When you place a hex on someone, that is a form of witchcraft, which a hex is just a curse. When you're cursing someone, this is black magic. Now the black magician would stand in the middle of the symbol and cast his spells onto other people. Now, this symbol is obviously on the $1 bill, twice on the $1 bill. And it's very, very ancient symbol. And it originates from Saturn. And let's keep going. So the cube. So I've just said how you see the cube on the North Pole of Saturn, right? The cube is limited. It's a 3D shape. It symbolizes limitations to the physical 3D dimension, the third dimension, the physical realm which we are in. Now, as you can see, the color associated with Saturn is black, right? Black is infinite potential. Black is the creation of all things before there was light. Light is born out of blackness, darkness, okay? Now, black is physical matter. And as you can see, the black cube, black symbolizing physical matter, the cube being limited, as the physical realm that we are in is limited. It's not like the fourth dimension where everything can exist in a thought. The third dimension is limited, right? And this is what Saturn is. It limits you to the 3D 666. Your body limits you to your physical body. Now these black cubes are placed everywhere, as you can see: Australia, Denmark, Manhattan. There's one in New York. As you can see, the Apple have a cube. The Nintendo GameCube. Trump Tower is a black cube. This is worshipping the energy of Saturn, the god Saturn. Okay, it's not a god, it's a celestial energy. However, it rules over Earth because it pretty much created the physical realm. Now, as you see, when you go to a funeral, you wear black, a black suit symbolizing Saturn, which is the color associated, black. And as you see in Mecca, they walk around the black cube in rings. As you can see here, they're stood around in rings, like the Saturn, the rings of Saturn. The Mercedes symbol. You probably wouldn't notice that, but yes, it's Saturn. And when you graduate from university, you wear a black cube on your head. This is all symbolizing Saturn. Okay? Now, as you can see, the Jews here have a black cube on their third eye whilst they pray. Notice how he's shutting his eyes into blackness, darkness, and he's wrapped around a black strap around his arm. This is symbolizing the wrapping of physical matter, of how physical matter wraps things into existence. And as we all know, the Star of David is a Jewish symbol. So he has the black cube and the Star of David, right? So all of these religions are secretly worshipping Saturn. Okay, this is all Saturn worship, Kronos, the god of time and destruction, the physical reality. Now, as you can see, it's symbolized everywhere in all major corporations. Pepsi, internet, that's obvious. NASA, of course, NASA. NASA means to deceive in Hebrew. Universal, Walkers, that one's so obvious. Nike, Toyota. So many different ways they symbolize it. You either see the rings of Saturn or the black cube, as I just showed you here, the Nintendo and the Mercedes, right? It's absolutely everywhere. Now, they also use 666 to symbolize it, as I've just broken it down to you. 666, the World Economic Forum. We all know how they're trying to enslave us into this new world agenda. Google Chrome, CERN, Disney, Coca-Cola, Cadbury's, all of these have 666. Now every UPS barcode has 666, and even www. Is Hebrew for 666, as you can see here. Monster. It's the same Hebrew letter that means 666. Drake, 6 God. That's his God, Saturn. Why? Because they love physical realm. They love the physical dimension, the third dimension. Because they can rule here through riches. They can build an empire here. It's not like the fourth dimension. They don't want to ascend. They want to stay down here in the physical realm. Okay? Now this is why they're cloning. They can move their consciousness into other clones to live forever. This technology exists. This is why they love the third dimension. As you can see, all of these sellouts here, Drake, Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, all of these people doing 666 because this is their God. This is their God. They love the physical realm. They sold their souls for wealth and fame in this physical realm. So why would they leave? You see? Now, this isn't all just evil, okay? So you have 7 chakras, right? You have 7 days of the week, 7 solfeggio scale notes. These are frequencies, the solfeggio scale. Now, it's called the Saturn moon matrix because the moon created out of the Holy Trinity, which is body, mind, and spirit, right? That's the triangle, the equal triangle, body, mind, and spirit. Now, the 3 main celestial bodies are Earth, Moon, and Sun. The Earth being your physical body, the Moon being your